The appearance and bearing of a palace lord. The outer robe, grape-coloured brocade. Beneath that willow-green gown, silk. Beneath that a shift of the purest white, silk. All sleeves perfectly layered and displayed with subtlety. The skirted trousers with the sheen of a ripened plum. The closed fan in his left hand horizontal at his waist and completely still. His other hand in a loose fist under his chin, a lord, attentive, poised, and graceful. From lacquered cap to lacquered shoes, a graceful palace lord.
He is a noble animal.
Indeed, Lord Narimura.
And he proclaims himself so.
He does?
The marking on his forehead, which is the Chinese character meaning king. I know you have no Chinese, Lady Shonagon.
Very little.
Very little is nothing in such a rich and complex language.
So I have been told.
But your Japanese is delightful in your delightful lists. Entirely suitable for ladies' writing.
The Emperor has called a poetry competition. His Majesty will surely invite Sushio, who, of course, writes in Japanese.
In Japanese, perhaps. Not poetry.
I know you cannot think of him as in any way a rival.
Rival? I think of that man. His verse is vulgar and shoddy, and at times shocking. Don't you sometimes see the shock in his own wife's eyes? She's a friend to you, is she not?
Yes. And she loves her husband.
Lady Komatsu is of the highest family. Zushio is most definitely not. Komatsu's mother is a cousin to the Empress. Her father was a renowned scholar.
Well, Zushio's father was...
Just so. Well, after a while, however lovingly they entered marriage, that difference may become more and more apparent until it shocks.
The Emperor is very fond of Zushio.
His Majesty is indeed, and we must all share in His Majesty's pleasure. Such mixing and mingling in these interesting times, even policemen. Oh, but I mean no insult, Lady Shonagon. I know Lieutenant Yukinari is also a friend of yours.
He has been a colleague.
And his native intelligence is beyond doubt. They say he can be charming, too.
Grotesque, incomprehensible, brutish.
What is?
The people. The common hundreds and thousands outside these walls. That's how your lords and ladies see them. Your good people, as they call themselves.
You've been continuing with your study, then?
I was in the Imperial Library all last night. The good people. Should the others then not simply be called the bad? Maybe not people, since I don't think they're thought of as entirely human.
Not good and bad as in righteous and wicked.
Superior and inferior.
Of course, and the difference is great.
I came from the bad. I rose from them. Only as far as policeman, I admit.
You are a lieutenant of the Imperial Police, and should you not be acting as one, investigating crime, righting wrongs?
You know, apart from the easy stuff like murder and thievery, I'm a bit muddled as to right and wrong. How could I have the confidence to give an order to my men?
Lady Shonagon.
What is it?
The Lady Komatsu, she begs you to come. It is urgent.
All right. Lieutenant, do not use the Imperial Library without written permission.
I'm not even sure I could take an order anymore.
He's drunk again.
Again and again and again.
And you are improperly dressed.
Oh, you've seen more than this, my lady.
Sushio.
Maybe not seen better, but you are a married lady, in a manner of speaking.
This is intolerable. I'm sorry, Komatsu. I must leave.
And a lady of the palace. See, all manner of things they do. This one here's seen a lot.
Komatsu, please come with me.
Wait! Hear this before you go. Soon there will be no again and again and again.
Gibberish. And the poetry competition is tomorrow.
Are you not listening? No again. The final spirits are unleashed, and I let them loose myself. I threw them in the air like the first drafts abandoned, and now they fall around me like ashes and coals.
Come, Komatsu.
They fall around us all, and your fine gowns will be scorched. Komatsu, please, don't go.
She cannot stay here, and neither can I.
Stay. Komatsu, stay. It is our greatest theme.
What is?
The blossom of the cherry is beauty, and our tears fall because the blossom must fall.
But we know it will return.
Yes, and fall and return again and again. Is that not our greatest theme?
I suppose it is. Now, please try to sleep.
But what if the blossom goes on falling forever?
This is madness.
Yes, it is. I see the blossom fall madly forever. The perpetual fall of beauty. No return. No again and again.
The day will return, and with it, a poetry competition. The scarlet robes of the Empress. The Emperor in rosy yellow and white, their shining majesties against the dark green of the pines. In this garden, all colours and gestures sing with beauty. His Majesty's raised hand to announce the subject for Narimura. Lost love and morning glory. A pause of only 7 utterly silent seconds. Narimura speaks. Chinese, of course. Easily translated. The glimmer of dew on the hedge is lovely, but the broken petals it hides were lovelier still. Murmur of great approval and tears in ladies' eyes. The Emperor's hand raised again. The subject for Sushio. Snowfall in a desolate garden. His pause. Many, many lengthening seconds. Utter silence. Utter, uncanny silence. Sushio nodding, and then swaying, and his right foot stepping back, seeking balance. His Majesty standing, Her Majesty's fan over most of her face. Sushio on his knees, his head bowed. As for the axe, utter silence. Then the retch and gush of his sickness, and ladies wailing.
Bad sake.
From my mother's supply.
Bad wine, then.
I drank some too.
Undercooked chicken?
I'm sure food and wine and sake were fine. You had too much of all three.
But I'm never unwell in the morning.
Sushio, you are unwell. These spirits and fallings and ravings of yours, and your drinking.
We should go away for a while. A quiet retreat somewhere.
We may have to go away.
Lord Narimura, there are ladies here.
Forgive me, but I must speak to this foul buffoon.
I may be a buffoon, but your poem was no more than a rehash of a Chinese ditty at least 50 years old. It was both dull and sentimental. Maybe that's what made me sick.
You will never be in their Majesty's presence again.
Her Majesty said that.
Or is it only your hope, Narimura?
If I had my way, you would be in the furthest, most demeaning exile for the rest of your life.
He is unwell, my lord.
And you, Lady Komatsu, are in grave danger.
Danger?
You well know what I mean, Shonagon. A lady of the highest blood, a daughter of Princess Tamaki, may live the rest of her life in exile with this... a worse than buffoon, this barbarian.
This barbarian wants a drink.
He drinks like a fisherman. He rants about all manner of bizarre things. And his wife is afraid of him. But I think if she left him, that would destroy him. I'm sorry. I know you have no interest in the troubles of my friends.
None at all. My only interest is you.
What about your study of palace customs?
Well, that's just an idle pastime. You're my vocation.
Yukinari, what has happened to you?
You happened to me. Bewitchment. Such odd words come into my mind these days. Words like vocation, enraptured, bewitched, sulky.
That one is apt.
Yes. I find I can be as sulky as a boy. A sulky, supposedly adult lieutenant. That's a worry. But I try not to worry. I try to convince myself it will all pass. But I'm not convinced. I hold stubbornly to the view that I'll love you all my life. Why won't you look at me? Are you still thinking about your friends? Think about us. Think about the day we lay among the roses. That day, Shonagon.
Ah, yes. The day I was kidnapped by bandits and almost raped by an entire band of them. I still sometimes smell that day, and it's not the fragrance of roses. Now, I have to go and see Komatsu.
My daughter, as you see, Lady Shonagon, is indisposed.
I'm sorry, Princess Tamaki. I'll come back later.
Do stay. Komatsu will hear us through the curtain. She may even be able to speak.
Be able to speak?
These are troubling times, are they not?
I know Komatsu has been troubled.
What is required? Do you think? What is necessary?
I'm not sure what you mean, Princess.
What is required, what is necessary, is cleansing. Something as cold as mountain water and as strong as mountain thunder. That is what is required. Don't you agree?
An action of the gods.
We may not have to aspire to mountains quite that high. Read this.
It is by Sushio.
His very latest. And incomprehensible. Or do you prefer enigmatic? I know you have expressed fascination with his work.
Fascination is too strong, and some of his recent poems, well, are they poems?
Unravel the enigma of this one if you can.
A cherry tree walks, uprooted like a woman, the ghost of a wife walking through nightmare. Her bridal blossom now is ash-grey, tattered, falling, spinning, intent as murderous bats.
How to unravel this?
Komatsu, I will open your curtain now.
Mother, please. Princess Tamaki, perhaps I should leave.
Are you afraid, Lady Shonagon? Do not be afraid. There.
I'm sorry, Shonagon.
Komatsu, lower your fan. Come now, daughter. None of us needs be afraid. Lower your fan, my darling.
Komatsu.
My daughter, you see, is decidedly indisposed. Wives who have been thrashed often are.
Marriages. Marriages like private chambers, secluded and curtained. 1. A chamber filled with light and incense and the music of koto and lute. 2. A chamber in which 2 players of go dare not look at each other for fear of laughing, but each is determined to win. 3. A chamber damp and chilly, haunted by the sullen ghosts of bride and groom. Throw all curtains aside, 3 chambers make 1 house. A marriage